Well, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation has condemned the assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran and called it a serious infringement of Iran's sovereignty. Foreign ministers of the Islamic bloc held an emergency meeting in Jeddah to discuss the killing and Iran's response. In a joint statement, the 57 members said they held Israel fully responsible for the attack on Haniyeh. Iran has blamed Israel and vowed revenge. Israel has neither confirmed nor denied responsibility. Author and Middle East analyst Laura Blumenfeld is joining me now for more on this. Thanks for joining us. So we saw Saudi Arabia stepping up to defend Iran's sovereignty at this meeting. That's despite the fact that the two countries are sometimes described as arch rivals. Is something shifting here?
It's a fascinating event today. Yes, they are reconciled recently, actually by China helped broker that. Reconciled, but they are still rivals. So the question is, what is the significance for this 57 block statement, joint statement? I mean, on the one hand, you could say it's worrying that they're rubber stamping some kind of retaliation, which would lead to further escalation. On the other hand, the positive view, which I take, is that by acknowledging what Israel has done, Israel hasn't claimed responsibility for it, but by acknowledging their hurt, it takes away the sting and need for revenge. Often, what a country needs is an acknowledgement that they have been harmed, and what the statement provided today was just that.
The U.S. as well said that they hope the members of the OIC, kind of what you're saying there, will try to de-escalate, take the pressure out of this situation and convince Iran not to retaliate or to retaliate in a way that doesn't escalate. Do you think that that's a likely scenario here?
I'm growing more optimistic by the hour. Look, revenge as a weapon is a currency and it can be devalued. Iran is facing what you might call retaliation inflation, because when they struck back at Israel in April, clearly that didn't gain them the deterrence that they were seeking. So now they really are feeling like they have to do something to save face, if nothing else. And so with this kind of diplomatic flurry, whether it's through the Islamic nations, states, or, Western European allies that are also all kind of in a frenzy, and then also the military pressure. I mean, the United States sent, F-22s. They're almost like high-tech messenger pigeons flying over to the Middle East with dropping a one-word note, which is don't.
So we just talked about Saudi Arabia here, often described as a rival of Iran. They actually helped Israel shoot down those missiles that Iran launched in the last round of retaliation. Jordan is also part of this Organization of Islamic States, was also part of the group that helped Israel shoot down these missiles. So what you're saying is you're reading this statement here not necessarily as a shift away from Israel, but as a kind of attempt to find a diplomatic solution to this.
There's tremendous tension and there's divisions within the group itself. I mean, there's this tension between ideology and practicality, right? Saudi Arabia is looking at Vision 2030. They're trying to diversify their economy. In the middle of this, there's this October 7th attack. It kind of blows their whole plan out of the water. I think the question here is blood thicker than liquidity, right? One of their brothers was assassinated in Iran, but every country in the region, including Iran, is struggling economically. So it's a fascinating struggle here, and time will tell which will prevail.
And just shifting focus, the Palestinian militant group Hamas has named Yahya Sinwar as its political leader. How have the OIC member states reacted to this choice?
Well, I think that they welcome Sinwar. They respect one thing that they're very, careful to do is to respect whatever Palestinian leadership is in place. That's the very least that they can do, given that they haven't. None of these countries, those that have relations with Israel, they haven't broken diplomatic ties. So, if they can't do anything in deeds, at least they can do something in words. And that's the criticism of that it's just lip service to the Palestinian cause. But what are they actually going to do? How will they back that up with any kind of muscle?
Middle East analyst Laura Blumenfeld, thanks for joining us.
Many thanks.